both your parents were runners, with your mother a county level sprinter and father a professional long distance runner. How did this influence you getting into the sport?
Um, yeah, it definitely like influenced me a bit as I got older. I think it just like what standard like a standard sports day at school. I just realized that I was like pretty good at running. Like it was my teacher what was like, you're really fast. Like I would just like beat all the boys. Like it didn't matter who was there. I would just like go around this like big cross country kind of field, like around the whole premises of the school, and I'd be like way in front. And my teacher was like, you really need to start like join a club or yeah, you could be really good at this. And then that's when I went home to my mom and was like, Mom, I've been told I should start running. And she was like, oh, thank God, I've been waiting for this day. So yeah, like she was the one that like took me to all the like club like sessions throughout my like childhood and teenage years. And then yeah, and then ever since like when I did races, everyone would come up to me, see my name, and they'd be like, "Oh, Thackeray, like your dad, it was amazing." Like told me all the like Thackeray stories and and yeah, so that like kind of like sparked an interest and I guess like it did help inspire me for sure, especially hearing all my dad's stories and like his accomplishments and stuff. And like I am competitive, so I want to beat whatever he's done.
Then your first athletics club, correct me if I'm wrong, was Hallamshire Harriers in Sheffield.
Yeah, yeah, it still is. I will be there until the very last day. Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's a great little club based in Sheffield. Yeah, no, it's yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Like I enjoyed the club running so much. Like it was where it all started for me. It was like the grassroots scene was amazing. I was very, very fortunate with the coach I had. Like just made it fun. Um, so yeah, I definitely like will always have fond memories looking back.
And then after that, you started training in America, and
Mhm.
you were there for 4 years, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I know it was great. It was a good opportunity to like, yeah, train with some amazing people. I was very lucky, and then we, yeah, somehow brought ourselves to like win national championships one year, and I just had an incredible coach there and amazing setup at altitude. So it really like catapulted me forward in terms of my running and yeah, he had my coach then, my college coach had such a like professional outlook on training and just looked at the bigger picture, didn't over race us, and yeah, all in all, just an amazing experience. Yeah.
How was training with like the likes of Josh Kerr, for example?
Yeah, Josh is great. I just love how bold he is. Like he's always known he was going to be like world class. Like even then he'd be like, yeah, I'm going to be like one of the best in the world one day. And I just respected that. I was like, fair play. Like I want to be the one of the best in the world too. Like, but I don't think I'd outright say that. I think people would think I was insane, like if I said that. And it's funny because he didn't do anything that crazy then. Like he definitely did towards the end, but nothing to say that he was going to be like a world champion, you know? So fair play to him for like saying it and doing it. I think that I have massive respect for that. But it genuinely was like such a humble like person as well. Yeah, he did believe in himself and he backed himself, but he was just like a great person, like a good teammate to have around and like really down to earth. And yeah, a lot of the group were like brilliant. Like I was very, very fortunate with the people I had around me. And you can't not be inspired by the people you have around you like that.
No, definitely. And you also spent 3 years in Australia training in Melbourne. How did this experience compare to like training in America? What was the difference?
Yeah, it was actually very similar, and that's why I think I stayed as long as I did. Because it kind of like it brought it back like to what I had with just such a like good setup with like training partners and just kind of had that like yeah, I had that again, like relit my fire for sure, like going to Australia and having like amazing people to train with and um similar kind of coach as well, like in terms of like such a businessman, very much like you show up, you and then you just do the training and won't really give you not really give you like a whole lot else in terms of like emotional support or anything. But I felt like at the time I just didn't I never needed that. Like I was like, just give me the session and I'll do it. And then the training partners is what really matters anyway. Like they're the ones what like really help you day in, day out. And if you needed help at any point, I felt like I had like such a good like system and like friendship and stuff with them. So like that was amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I stayed as long as I did. I mean, COVID as well. COVID made me stay there, but but at the same time, it was a great place to be at the time. for it, and it definitely again catapulted me forward to my breakthrough and like to make the Com Games and Europeans and stuff like that. And definitely grateful that I did it. It was a crazy time, and like balancing like work and running and stuff. But no, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't change it.
Just linking obviously to the Commonwealth Games and then finishing sixth in the European Championships. Um, when you were racing on track, because obviously you started on track with the 5,000 and 10,000 meters. How did you find the experience of competing in those games and learn from them?
Yeah, amazing. I love my track background. I think that's what's like ultimately got me to where I am now. Like my VO2 max is very high because of the 5K and all of that. Yeah, I really enjoy it. The track is just so different. It's just so like you have to be on. Like it's just yeah, it's just like completely different to like gear up for than the roads. But yeah, no, I definitely like I will always still dabble in it. I love it. Like I definitely still see myself as like I have a lot of fast twitch. I'm very lucky. I think that's thanks to my mom and my dad. And then I just yeah, I have got that natural ability to like run fast, which is good because I don't need to train it too much. And the marathon training is just like yeah, just the strength based training. It just that gets me really strong and fit as well across all distances. So yeah.
What made you decide to make that transition from track to competing in your first ever marathon?
I guess like I've been told my whole life that I'm going to be like a marathon runner, like my dad. Like I think my biomechanics would say that I'm going to be a marathon runner, and I've been told like from multiple coaches that I will do like really well at the long distances. I always obviously wanted to try it, but I just never found that I never felt like I was never felt rushed to do it. I was just like, well, I'm going to enjoy the track now. Like I enjoy it. It makes sense to me. I enjoy the training. And I didn't do a major shift in terms of my training. I was just very lucky that my debut went really well. And it did come natural to me. And I guess everyone was right. All those coaches what told me, and I didn't listen. They were right. Like I did like it felt natural. I did enjoy the marathon more than I thought I would. And then before you know it, I'm like, shit, okay, like I feel like the marathon definitely chose me for sure. But that's okay. I don't mind it. No, it's a lot of fun. It is. It's I never thought I'd say that. I really just because of how much I do enjoy speed work and things like that. But to be honest, it's not much different. Surprisingly, it's not night and day different to like what I did when I was a 5K runner. Like it's just a few more miles and things and bigger volume sessions, but ultimately like not a huge difference. And yeah, no, it's fun and I'm still learning in the marathon event, and I think I've got a long way to go with it, so it's exciting.
I wanted to touch on your first like eye-catching performance, which was your 68-minute and 56-second half marathon at the Road Running Championships. That was obviously 30 years on from when your father won bronze at the same championships. Did that run have a special meaning?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why I think when I had an interview, I got really emotional because like, it's my dad. But definitely, like, he told me about that race, and I've heard about it multiple times from many people, like, that he just, like, really ran away with the field. I think there was a bunch of them, like, all fighting for, like, the medal positions, and, like, it's just, like, a crazy race. And, like, he really, like, yeah, I would say that was one of his world class moments for sure in his career. Like bronze medal at the World Half, like that's an amazing performance. And like the fact that I was like up there fighting for it, I think it brought it all back for sure. Like I definitely thought of my dad out there, and yeah, you can't not be inspired by that. And like and just remember who you are. Like remember the Thackeray name. It still lives on, and it's just ironic that I do still run like he and like I'm trying to like do what he did. And yeah, it was emotional and it was an amazing day. And like, I felt like that was a moment I was like, wow, like, no, I can be up there with the best of them. Like, doesn't matter who it is. Like, I can race them. Like, there's only like I had a bit of a hiccup thing. Like, I had this like soreness in my foot at the last 2 miles, which definitely set me back. But I looked back at it and I was like, do you know what? That's fine. Like, I know I'm there now. Like, that was the moment where I realized like I have what it takes to be up there. Like, with some really like good girls and like fight for the medals one day. So yeah, no, it was definitely a shift in mindset and like a moment where I realized for sure that I can do really well at this thing. Yeah.
I mean, you showed that as well in the same month with your marathon debut. you became the second fastest British female marathon ever, just behind Paula Radcliffe. What were the emotions like when you crossed that finish line, and then obviously realizing you were behind such a legendary name as Paula?
Yeah, I think that point in I think that was where the true breakthrough all started for me. So it started at big half. I think I dominated the course and like did really well, and that like got me to world half. And it was from then and then I was talking to sponsors and stuff, and that was just like a pinch me moment because it's like what I've worked for my whole entire life, and it was like, okay, like it's not all been for nothing. Like I felt like I knew I could be this professional athlete, but it's hard. It's like it's not easy to get sponsored, especially in the UK. They're hard to come by. So to finally like achieve that and get that milestone, what I've worked for my whole entire career, the ripe age of like 29, nearly 30, I was like, it was crazy that time frame, and I'll never take it for granted. And I think then the momentum kept going ever since Big Half World Champs, the debut marathon. That was ultimately got me to the Olympics, and it's just insane. Yeah, and it's just a proud moment, and I look back at everything I've been through to get to that point. So yeah, a huge like ultimately like that's what made me like here. I'm here now as a Nike athlete. It's crazy. Like I still pinch myself. But yeah, an amazing day and very emotional for sure. Like um just the fact that I did it on my debut is just very special. You always, I think it's just like hits different when it's your first ever marathon, and people are like, you've got a lot to learn in the marathon. You know, your debut is just always going to be like a tester event, and yeah, it was, and that was, the whole point of it. It was just to get my feet wet in the distance, and to say I did that when I was still like I was in shock like when I saw the time because I knew I was on for something like good, but when I saw the time I was like, oh, that really puts me up there. Um, and the way it felt as well, like I just did not know it was going to come like not easy. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to be like, oh, the marathon's easy. It's not. But I think the way we ran it was like, I mean, my husband coach was pacing me, and it was just like an incredible time at the same time. But he was like holding me back for the longest time because he was like, Callie, you need to be patient. It is a long way. Like you still got, because I kept saying a number to him. I told him like where I would be, like in terms of like how I feel. If I say a 5, then I'm at that middle ground and I'm okay. And if I say like a 6 or a 7, I've got stitch or I've got something come on, and I just need to like go back a few seconds. And but I kept saying that I'm at a 3. I was like screaming at him. I was like, I'm at a 3. And it's like, Callie, you've still got a long way to go. Like, so yeah, it was just this, I don't know. I just look back now and I'm just like, it's crazy what we pulled off on my debut. But yeah.
Speak about obviously your husband and coach there, Nick. He's a marathon runner himself. How
Yeah.
crucial has he been in giving you kind of like the confidence to initially tackle that distance and then progress forward?
Yeah, Nick is genuinely like I'm obviously biased, but he's just an incredible coach. Like he's just got a knack for it. Like he just knows like numbers so well. He knows your body, like not just like me as a whole, but like because he studied biology, like he's got that background, and he really like understands like running as a bigger picture. Like he really like analyzes everything. And he just knows when he could tell me like when I'm gonna have a good day or when I'm gonna have a bad day, and like it's just crazy. Like he's very observant, and yeah, and ultimately he just doesn't have an ego as well, like which is so nice. And like he just really loves this thing. He enjoys coaching. It's what like sets himself like like that fires him up so much himself. Like he just really enjoys it. And then with that, like yeah, it's just an incredible thing. Like we work so collaboratively. Like I understand myself as well, like so well at this point. I've had several coaches. I know what's right, what's wrong, and now I'm just like I would never go back because he like really gets all the spheres in running. Like he gets the emotional side, he gets like he understands the numbers, he understands like the mindset. It just is brilliant. Like and yeah, he takes that with him with everyone he coaches, and that's why we work so well as a team together. And it has, and that's why we're seeing the results we're seeing now. And it's just yeah, an incredible thing to do it with your husband, and like we're in this journey together, and we're yeah, we get the best out of each other. It's pretty special. I'm very lucky. Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to last summer, obviously qualifying for the Olympics in Paris following New York. What were the emotions like going to the French capital and arriving there?
Yeah, very emotional. I was like at the time I was like lacking a lot of sleep and my appetite was going a bit, so I was a bit nervous, like a bit stressed and anxious about that. So, but yeah, when I got there, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I don't mind the setup being here. It was just like an amazing place to be, and the holding camp was in an amazing spot. Like it didn't feel too overwhelming, um, where we were, and it felt like pretty quiet, but still within it. So yeah, it was an incredible build up. That's the thing. Like my body was doing everything I asked of it, which was crazy because I was like losing so much sleep and so much like of the the nutrition side. Like I was just for some reason I've never struggled with eating, but I was just really struggling. I don't think it helped that it was very humid. It was very hot and humid, and it was hard to sleep at night. And with that, my appetite like took a hit, and all those things don't help when you're training for a marathon. Um, so yeah, like, but honestly, like, yeah, an incredible experience, experience nonetheless to be in Paris, like doing that and with alongside these amazing people, like the Team GB people are just amazing, like all of them, and I feel like we all just have like complete respect for each other, no matter what your discipline is. We like really want to back everyone, and yeah, it's just an amazing time, really. Like even with what happened, I still have so many like fond memories of that trip.
Just touching obviously on what happened, unfortunately you were unable to complete the marathon and linking obviously to the humid, horrid Parisian morning that it was. But how did that painful experience motivate you even more?
Yeah, for sure. No, like it definitely like that's the thing. Yeah, it was heartbreaking and ultimately like to make that decision to pull out was the hardest decision I'll ever probably make. Like it was really hard. But I knew honestly like if I'd have gone a step further, I wouldn't be here where I am now. Like I wouldn't have had the next few races what like I knew I had to pull out at that moment. My body was doing crazy things and it was just meant I've never had that in a race before. I've never ever experienced it. Like your mind body connection really is a thing, and it wasn't there for me. So I had to make that choice to like pull aside, and it was horrendous. Like I'm really thankful that my husband slash coach was there at the side of the road, and I was able to just like fall into his arms, and we just cried together. And yeah, God, it was horrible. But I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. I ain't spoke about it for a bit. Yeah, God.
But
Whew. I haven't spoke about it for a while, and when it hits you, but this is okay. It's good because like it's also like it was a hard time, but yeah, I've come away and I am like so much stronger for it and what I went through, and like I'm just lucky to be here now, like in this point in my career, and I just feel like I've caught this momentum again, and I feel very lucky to get that back. I've just such a hard time. But yeah, no, I it's definitely made me hungry and I've learned so much from it, even though it was horrible and like I took away so much and I'll take that into like my future races in this next 4 year cycle going into the next Olympics because I don't want that to happen again. But yeah, there's still so many amazing races that I get to do and line up for. Like the world majors are incredible, like and then on top of that there's world champs and stuff. But yeah, I don't want that to like I don't know, affect me into this next cycle and I'll do things a lot differently leading up to it. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to get so emotional.
well, I mean, 6 weeks later you were at the Berlin Marathon and you set an incredible
Yeah.
best. So isn't that kind of proof that your training hadn't gone to waste? And I mean, an incredible place to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I knew what I'd done, like, leading up to Paris. We'd done everything right, like, in terms of my training. God, like, it was world class. Like, people were watching my training, like, wow, like, you are going to be one to, like, really, like, watch because every session I was just able to do and then some. Like, I couldn't have asked anything more of my body. Like, it was just doing all the sessions I was asked to do. And that was a crazy thing and and that was the like positive from it. It was like okay, like yeah, the Olympics didn't go the way I wanted it to, but that training will never go. Like that has took me up a notch, like it's took me up another level. And yeah, like I look back at that and I'm just like wow, like it was like a 24-week block, but I was definitely racing in between, so I was tapering and stuff and there's other things going on. I would have raced much more than I than I planned to. But obviously in the Olympics, you're expected to like not race as much, and you kind of like they want your governing body expect you to be like wrapped around with cotton wool, and I get that. But at the same time, I'm a born racer. I think that's how I elevate each time as well, and it also makes me like I have no chill in training, so it makes me like chill, taper, race, and that's like good for me, and that's the kind of athlete I am. So going forward into another Olympic cycle, like I won't, I'll still race like I do. Like, yeah, obviously not as many as I'm going to do this year. You're going to see me racing a lot in all distances. Like I will like bring it back a little bit, but I still need to race. Like, and whether it's the 5K, 10K half, like I think it all complements the marathon anyway. So yeah, for sure, I learned a lot from it. And then Berlin, yeah, that was incredible. Like an incredible moment just because like it was I don't know, like I had a lot of demons obviously, and you always compare yourself to your last race, and that was my last race. So I had to like really work hard mentally to there was definitely some points in the race where I was like, oh my God, like I might like my body's not working again. Like and it was just the mind playing tricks on me. And I was like, no, Callie, like you've not done all that training for nothing. Like you're gonna prove to yourself today that you can do this. You are made for the marathon. You are gonna tough it out. And I did. And like luckily, like my legs came back to me, and like my mind like was like, no, like Callie, we're doing this today. So that was a big moment. That was very emotional as well because it was like finally it came together, and like I did get to show at least some of that training. I think I've still got a long way to come, like considering like what I was going through at the time. But yeah, that excites me, and I'm like, okay, that will do for today. Like that's a big, still a personal best, and it puts me second all time, Brit. But I know like there's so much more if I can have like that mind body connection the way I once had. But yeah, no, I think the training for Paris definitely helped there, and it finally came to fruition.
Yeah, and I think it kind of shows the courage and resilience to use that painful experience and kind of help it help yourself progress forward instead of not doing that and feeling like it had gone to waste. So, just in terms of finally, what does a perfect 2025 look like for you? And are there any specific events you're looking to compete in this year?
Yeah, a perfect 2025 would be a hell of a lot. Probably the most racing I've done in a while. I just love it. It's going so well so far. So I just want to keep this momentum going. Obviously, the perfect 2025 also means healthy, like happy, like great mind-body connection, like I've spoke about, and just keep it going the way. Like I'm just genuinely just enjoying everything right now, like the training, even though it's hard. I'm just enjoying it. I feel very blessed to have like this setup here in both America and in England. Like here in Flagstaff, I have amazing people to train with, like my main training partner, Sarah Hall. And then I also train with Emily Durgan, who's an amazing athlete as well for the US. And then anyone who comes in and out, like with this such a like an amazing setup here. So yeah, I was able to elevate my training again and race really well, and then I'm taking that to obviously like New York half soon, and then I'm going to do the 10, and then I'm going to do the marathon. So yeah, a lot of different distances, like I like the way I like it. But yeah, I just like to test myself across all distances, and yeah, it excites me a lot that way. But yeah, ultimately a goal next will be Boston Marathon. Like I've been training really hard for it, and I feel ready, and finally that Paris training will hopefully come into fruition for Boston. So and that's definitely like made me hungry, like we talked about, and I'm just very excited for it, honestly. Like I feel like I'm in finally in this like good spot. And yeah, I've been in this bubble in Flagstaff, and I'm just ready. I feel ready to like I'm just excited to race, which is a great thing.
Ready to unleash a new personal best?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know about Boston. Boston's very like this. Who
Up and
knows?
down.
Maybe, but yeah, no, it's not. I feel like the course record there. What even is it? I think it's like only like 2:20. Like yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a good day if I PB. But yeah, I just want to race. Like that's another reason why I chose Boston as well. Like I just love racing. So it's not about, worry about time or anything. You just like want to be with up there with the best of them, like Helen O'Beary. Emma Bates is like really good on that course in terms of the Americans, and then yeah, like Sharon as well. Like she's like done really well, another Kenyan runner. So yeah, like it'll be an incredible race. So I'm excited.